Hey guys, how you doing? This is Tony Tone, the Chess Salsero. Guys, today we're going to talk about a very important principle in chess, specifically in the end game, and it's called opposition. What is opposition? What do you do? Why do you need it? Why do you need to understand it? So, guys, in many cases, I know in many of my games for decades now, you end up in a position like this where it's king versus king and pawn. It's a king and pawn ending. You might have a few extra pawns or no pawns, but one side or the other has at least one pawn. And in this case, I'm going to show you the principle of utilizing opposition in order to promote your pawn to win the game. So my goal here is white. It could be white or black, doesn't matter. We're just using white in this example. The goal here is to get this pawn to the promotion square right here on D8, the promised land, touchdown, right? Now, this king, obviously, who has no army, he's lost all his pieces and all his pawns, has to do everything in his power to stop that pawn from promoting. And he or she is looking for either a stalemate or a draw. Either way, they're trying to deny you the win after you've worked so hard to get to this point. You have a passed pawn and you can win the game. But if you don't understand opposition, man, I cannot stress enough how many games I've lost in the past because I did not understand this principle, this end game principle, where you end up with no pieces other than a king and a king and pawn ending. And we're going to go through it. So, guys, basically, opposition is a situation where you have two kings that are literally on the same rank or file right in front of each other, very close. Like if I move this king here, I mean, they're in opposition of each other, black to white and white to black. Why? Because nobody can move forward. A king cannot intentionally put itself in check or under attack, either black or white. It's an illegal move. So you have this little invisible force field right there. Let's say it's here. Same thing. Now you have the little force field right here, right? Whether it's vertical or horizontal doesn't matter. So we're going to go through how to get this pawn to its promotion square. And it could be anywhere on the board. I'm just using this example. I mean, I could be here, here, he could be here. I'm just showing you from this way so I can explain, distant opposition versus direct opposition. Distant obviously means you're farther away, right? If this king were here and they're facing each other from way far away, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say even 5 squares away, they're in distant opposition to each other. Just means they're far. Versus direct opposition, which is right here, only 1 square away, 1 rank away, 1 file away. So let's go through some of the examples. Your goal, like I said, is to get that pawn to promote. And, since the kings cannot move close to each other, each king is trying to prevent the other's advance, creating a mutual blockade, especially black. Black doesn't want to lose, or it could have been white. So you have to find a way to control the opposition against your opponent to eventually pass or create a pass pawn, or you already have a pass pawn, but promote the pawn to a queen or whatever you want. So let's go through this. So it's black's move, right? And his goal is to get as close as possible to this opposing king, to stop that pawn from promoting. So I'm going to move here. And what I want to show you this, guys, is I don't want to enter into an opposition, meaning I don't want him to be in front of me. So here's an example. We know on his next move, he's eventually going to move to this file to get close to us, right? So I'm going to move here, and then he cannot move here. Let's say he moves here. I want to come into opposition in his way to force him to move out of my way. So the difference is here that now I have the opposition and it's his turn to move. You know, this is very tricky to understand, guys, and it's tricky to even explain. So here's my point. I just moved here. Now he cannot move here, here, or here, right? I'm forcing him to move out of my way. That means I have the opposition. So let's say he moves here. Screw that up. Sorry. Let's say he moves here. He could move either way. But let's say he moves here. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of getting in front of him, I'm going to get out of this way to clear a path for my pawn to reach that promotion square. Right? Now watch this. Let's say he moves down here to get closer to that pawn because he wants to capture my pawn. He wants to eat it. He wants to get rid of it. That way, 2 kings alone on the board is a draw. Nobody wins. Now watch. We're now in opposition to each other. Difference is now that he's forcing me to move. So now I got to move out the way. But what I'm going to do here in this situation is I'm going to push. I keep messing this up. Sorry. I'm going to come here, boom, because it's on its home square, and I'm going to attack him. So now he cannot move back towards this way because then I have a clear path to the promotion square. So he has to move backwards. Right? Now I create the opposition towards him. See, I am reestablishing opposition, and now he has to move. Where can he move? He can't go here, 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 or here. He has to move either here or here. So he's not going to move backwards. So he's going to move here closer to prevent me from getting to that square. So that means I have the opposition. So now he moves, right? And now look, I have the opposition. I have my little force field. He cannot move anywhere here. He can move, if he wants, back here, then I would reestablish opposition. He can't move here. So let's say he comes back here. I would reestablish opposition, see, right in front, horizontally versus vertically. And now he has to move out the way. So when you're at this kind of situation where you're going to go back and forth, let's say he moves back, then you push the pawn forward, getting it closer to that promotion square. Now, he can't go here, 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 so I have to force him back. Now watch this. He's not going to move away because he needs to stop me from getting to this promotion square. So what does he do? He moves here, but now watch this. So we had horizontal opposition. Now we're going to have a vertical opposition, a direct opposition. When he moves here, which is my promotion square, I'm going to step in, bam, in direct opposition to him. And now, again, he cannot move anywhere here. He's forced to move to the side. When he does that, let's say he goes here. Look what I do. I move to a key square, bam, clear the path for my pawn, and I'm home free. That pawn is going to promote, period. Let's go the other way. Let's say he moves here. I don't go in opposition now. I get out of the way to this key square, bam, clearing the path. I want to stress this big time, guys. No matter where your pawn is on the board, that king either has to be in front of it or to the side of it, but in front as it moves forward. You can never win in the game of opposition when your king is on the side to the back of it or behind it. You do not want this situation here like this. You will never pass this pawn. I mean, not pass it. You will never promote this pawn to wherever it's going. I mean, let's say we're here. It doesn't matter what file we're on. You cannot be behind your pawn. You must be in front of your pawn. Think of it as a running back. Your pawn is a running back, and you're the defender, or he's a receiver, and you got your guys blocking for you. In the NBA, in basketball, you set a screen so the guy can go around you so you can get to the hoop. It's no different than this, okay? So you want to be in front of your pawn, even to the side of it, but you're still in front of it. You're not to the side of it, adjacent, or behind it. You must be in front. And the goal is to establish opposition where you control the opposition, where you force your opponent to move out of the way. Now, I want to show you a stalemate. This has happened to me in the past 1,000 times. I had to learn from my mistakes. Watch this. It's Black's turn to move. Where's Black going to go? He can't take the pawn. He can't go here. He can't go here because Black controls it. He can't go here or here. Why? Because White controls it. But he can't stay where he's at. He's not under attack. No one is attacking him. I don't have a rook here, attacking him. This would be checkmate. There is no check. There is no attack. But he cannot stay there legally. It's his turn, and he can't move off the board. He has to move somewhere. But he has no legal moves, so this is stalemate. I can't stress this enough, guys. In a lot of king and pawn endings, a lot of beginners, novices, children, they end up like this because they don't understand the principles of using and utilizing opposition to their advantage. So, guys, I hope that helps. I know this is a tricky concept. I know this is tricky to understand, but I highly suggest you go to chess.com or some other chess engine, and you can play around with setting up positions here and figure out how to promote your passed pawn in different situations where you win. So when you're in a real game, you don't have to think of it so much. When you understand a certain principle, guys and gals, you don't have to think so much. It takes away the thinking for you because you understand the principle behind it. All you have to do is execute it successfully and win the game. In this example here, look how far we are. He's eventually trying to get in direct opposition with me to prevent me from, promoting my pawn. So this is a distant opposition where, let's say I'm here, right? And it's my turn. I want to get around him to get in front before he gets in front of me. So if it's my turn, let's say I go here, and now he wants to come close, right? His goal is to get this baby right there. And he goes here. I go here. Now I'm screwed. But now I can't go here. Boy, he got there quick. So he's already established, himself, and you want to prevent this. This is why I'm showing you this example. So if I go back here now, it's my turn. 1, 2. He gets there in 2 moves. Wow, it takes me 1, 2, 3 to get there. I don't want to be in his path. So let's say I move here. He moves here. If I go in opposition here, boom, and then he goes here, right? Look what happens. He beat me to my spot. So now I got to go behind the pawn, and then I'm screwed. So again, guys, the goal is to prevent this, for you to control opposition. Let's say it's my turn. I go here, he goes here. Look, if I go in front of him now, boom, it's direct opposition. I force him to move either way. So I want to control the flow of the opposition. I want him to get out of my way, not the opposite, so I can promote my pawn. So now when he moves this out of the way, I come to the side. I don't get back in his way. But watch this. If I get back in his way, we're going to end up in a draw because he's going to keep doing this. See? I don't want that. I want him to move. Then I come to the side to a key square to clear the path for that pawn. All right, guys. Well, that is opposition. I hope it was not clear as mud. I understand it's very tricky. You have to do this a lot to really remember it and apply it. Just go over this video, rewind it 1,000 times, and understand how to gain opposition on your opponent, how to not only create a passed pawn, but to promote the pawn that you passed earlier in the game. And remember, if your opponent does not understand opposition, he or she will lose if you understand. Know the principle, you simply have to execute it. That's all. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content. Please subscribe. I am out. Peace.